Welcome back. You're now watching the political segment of the weekend show, and we will be discussing constitutional amendment in Nigeria. Many Nigerians consider the 1999 constitution military-driven, and that reference to we the people in the constitution does not truly represent them. Various actors have therefore been advocating for change. Nevertheless, other than the first, second, and third alterations of the 1999 Constitution enacted during the Sixth Assembly between 2007 to 2011, significant amendments have not been made. The Seventh Assembly between 2011 to 2015 undertook a constitution review process, but ran into a logjam despite huge amounts of state resources deployed for the process and constitution making since the country's return to democracy, with public hearings held across 6 geopolitical zones of the Federation at both constituency and zonal levels. Nonetheless, one of the amendments proposed the removal of presidential assents from the process of constitutional amendments. The chairman Senate Committee on Constitution Review, Senator Ovie Omoagege, has said that the much-awaited zonal public hearings on the review of the 1999 Constitution will hold from May 26th to 27th in different parts of the country. Omoagege, in a statement by his special advisor on media and publicity, Yomi Odunga, in Abuja, said the event will hold simultaneously across 12 state capitals with 2 public hearings per geopolitical zones. Our guest today is Olubunmi Ayantunji, the convener, the Policy Roundtable. Welcome back to the weekend show.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
Constitutional amendment. In the past, since independence and even before independence, we've had full-on constitutions being rewritten. And in most cases, before some regime change or the other, you'll see some modification. And it's largely believed that the Constitutional Conference led to the 1999 Constitution, which we've had till today. And like I said in the monologue, a lot of it serves the people in power, and it looks like it was put in place for a military leadership. I'm very much aware that in the 8th Assembly, there was a bit of constitutional amendment because some of us were on the streets campaigning for the Not Too Young to Run bill, which led to the amendment which saw the age for people running for political power reduced. What's your take on this constitutional amendment or review? Do you think the 99 Constitution should be scrapped totally and rewritten, or do you think we just have some amendments to be made?
You know, let's start from the beginning. In the beginning, if you start reading the Nigerian Constitution, you see we, the people. Some academics and even Nigerians have said the Constitution, starting from the beginning, is an embodiment of falsity in itself. We, the people, means all Nigerians.
Yeah.
But the 1999 Constitution, as amended today, would say, was not made by Nigerians. It was handed down to us by the military in 1999. So Nigerians are saying, why not let's have a constitution that we, by our hands, have made. However, in the 8th Assembly, the constitutional amendment process was led by Senator Ekweremadu, the former Deputy Senate President. And I joined the persons that were saying that is not the silver bullet. I do not believe that constitutional amendments would be the ultimate, panacea to our problems. However, I think the amendment process that we have now actually relates with the current circumstances we face as a country. Some of the items that were listed for amendments include devolution of powers, which is really what Nigeria needs now, state policing, basically, fiscal federalism, all this local government autonomy, judicial autonomy, people living with disabilities were catered for, and women participation in politics. All those things were actually provided for to be deliberated on in the constitutional amendment, in the constitutional amendment process. That's the public hearings that will be held zonally. However, some persons think, and even my own mentor thinks, that instead of managing a tumor, why not let's take it out? The 1999 Constitution, as of just now, does not serve Nigerians. That's still my belief. For example, the Constitution says Nigeria is a secular state. But are we really a secular state in practical? Aside the theory, I do not think we're a secular state. Why not let's follow, for me, I would say, why not let's follow the report of the 2014 Confab as convened by the former president, Goodluck Jonathan. Irrespective of political parties, we had Nigerians across all political divides come to Abuja, talk intensely, and mostly some of them were even almost fighting, defending their different regions. And then they came up with a policy document that is comprehensive as it is smart. Until today, nothing has been done to that. We will rather focus on this 1999 amendments, constitution amendment that has been amended times without number. I would rather think, instead of managing a tumor, why not take it out?
Let's talk about devolution of powers
Right.
and fiscal autonomy.
Okay.
Now, we have a system where every month, literally the governors go plate in hands to the federal government and say, what have you got for us? Anything for the boys. And the federal government has a location and give them money. Then they go to their states, and local governments should have a level of autonomy, but instead the local government chairman literally are at the mercy of the state governors, who once the ruling party pretty much is in charge, most of the local government chairmen end up being from those parties. And so the state governors want a bit of autonomy and restructuring where they control their resources. But when it comes to the local government, they are not ready to let go of that power. Do you think a constitutional amendment will fix it, especially at the state level, considering what we see now?
In practice, constitutional amendment should fix that issue just stated. But would the political will be there to let that particular term pass? You know, we have issues where state governors go cap in hand to beg at the end of the month, and then they go on their rendezvous. The money is spent. On the 29th, again, they go back. Nobody's trying to be creative. The problem we have currently in the country, I believe, is as a result of the crippled local government system. The local government system is the closest to the people. And recently I saw on Twitter, a local government system, a local government headquarters was buying water from water hawkers. The local government headquarters cannot provide water for itself. How would the local government provide water for the people it intends to serve? The problem is governors collect allocation, they remove whatever they want to remove. Chairman, they send the rest to the local government chairman. They remove whatever they want to remove, basically. Pay salaries and all that. And the one that actually goes to the masses is the paltry. So, and those were the persons this allocation should serve. I think we need now proper local government autonomy in the real sense of the word, not mounting the whole process. But the problem is, if that passes through in the constitutional amendment, the question now would be, would these persons have the political will to let it be practiced, or to even let it pass on the floor of the Senate, for example? So we have a problem, or as I said earlier when I came here on the program, an hypocritical system where we have governors saying they want to control their resources. We have to deregulate everything, and the whole world is now being, devolution of powers is now being abused and all that. But then they go back home and they do not give their local government autonomies. You know, they are not independent. And I think that is hypocritical. I sincerely think that is hypocritical.
State policing, insecurity, we've spoken about insecurity time and time again. And so some people have said, you know what, community and state policing would help solve the problems. But power corrupts and absolute power corrupts, absolutely. State governors want to be able to control the police in their states. There is the argument that during elections, he who has law enforcement on his or her side stands a higher chance. And so because state governors and the police commissioners take instruction from the capital, from Abuja, it means that the authority and the person with that absolute power is now at the federal level. Now, some people have argued that if you give the state governors who have shown mismanagement at the local government level, if you give them the same power for state policing, where they can appoint, for instance, their own police commissioner, they can instruct the police commissioner on what to do, they will use this to their advantage during elections. What's your take on that particular item, which is also up for debate when it comes to the Constitution?
The Yorubas will say, when a tree falls on another tree, you take the one on top before you pick the one at the bottom. Now, we have a dire security situation in this country. People are literally dropping dead.
Yes.
Bandits are picking the rich and the poor. Nobody is safe. And I think, like I postulated on the radio yesterday, I think that the current emergency is what we should fix and not the political ones. I sincerely think we need state policing. Issues where, for example, there is an upsurge of violence in a state and the state governor cannot control the police to fix it. The state governor will have to call the IGP in Abuja before they can do anything. It's a problem. You know, we have to fix this security problem before we start talking about the politics. Either ways, there are some states that have state policing already. Why are they not abusing it? Though there will definitely be abuse to any of these things in Nigeria. But then the major problem should be fixed. We have the Isba police in the north. Though people have reservations, and I have reservations against most of their activities, but then they are working. We have, for like over 5 to 7 years, Lagos State has RSS. You know, now we have a Moteco in the southwest. Why are state governors not abusing their powers as regards this? We have a major security problem, where even kings of towns are not safe. Now, bringing politics into this whole thing, I think defeats the whole process. Why not let's fix the security issue with state policing, instead of the fact that, you know, there's a governor in the south that will constantly say he's helpless because the federal government does not like him, and then they cannot deploy some police formations and army formations to fix the security situation in his state. If he has state police, he would have fixed it by himself. Proper federalism, as it were, would definitely encourage state policing, and I think we need that. The issue of poor governors or head of subnational governments abusing the process should wait. And by the way, I think that any of this thing at all, state policing or not, is subject to abuse. Huge abuse. But still, we have states in Nigeria that are already having a prototype somewhat of what state policing looks like, and it's working for them. Why not let's have these things? Why?
Okay, judicial autonomy. The Judicial Staff Union of Nigeria, I know we're on strike for over a month. And just last week, we hear that they have had some resolution with the federal government to cut it off. So the judicial system has been on standstill, at a standstill. And he who pays the piper dictates the tune. The federal government is the one at the end of the day that sends money to pay the judiciary and even the legislative arm. And so will there ever be a level of autonomy if they have to wait for funding over there? Same way, even election or picking the next chief judge of the state or of the Supreme Court of the Federal Republic, is the governor, the president still has to approve. And so, but they are talking about some more autonomy for themselves. What do you think we need for the judicial autonomy, which is part of the items which is up for debate?
For any sane democracy, the judiciary must be thoroughly and truly independent. And to guarantee the independence of the judiciary, we have to have a total exclusion of the executive and the legislature. In practice, the judiciary should actually be the most powerful arm of government. Now, what we have in Nigeria is a situation where governors bring cameras and newsmen to an event where he's donating cars to judges, houses to judges, and all that. I think that is wrong. In fact, that is wrong. I should not even think that is wrong. The judiciary should not be subject to the whims and caprices of anybody or any system. They should be thoroughly independent. And that's why just on the Judiciary Staff Union have been on strike. And apparently or hypocritically, the first governor that has answered them is a doctor, not even a lawyer. In this country, we have a silk. That's an SCN as a governor. In this country, we have a life bencher of the Nigerian bar as a governor. Still, those states are not judiciary, do not have judicial autonomy. A doctor from Delta, Governor Okowa, has signed complete judicial autonomy in his state, a doctor. And that is so sad because the whole system is somewhat filled with hypocrites, you know. A lawyer, that is what it sought, would know that for every sane or workable democracy, the judiciary, which is the last hope of the common man, should not be subject to the powers of some persons or elected to serve some interest. The judiciary in itself should be autonomous. They should not go cap in hand like states to beg for money. The judiciary, not just independent, should be properly funded directly, not from the executive. And I think people or Nigerians would be involved in the public hearing process and they would push for this holistically.
Final one, increased women participation in governance. The numbers have been reducing.
Yeah.
I think it went from 7% to below 5%. And someone moved a motion or a bill saying there should be extra seats created for women, for instance, in the National Assembly, as opposed to increasing their chances for existing roles, but increasing like an extra seat per state. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I read the bill as pushed. I think it's very wrong and unnecessary. We do not need that, sincerely.
What should be done?
What should be done is we need more women to participate in the electoral process, one. And secondly, we need to conscientize political parties to allow women to participate. The process, what they do in practice is they reduce the price for nomination fee for women, and then at the end of the day, they tell you to step down for this person, you get appointed and all that. We should have women with more political will to come out and vie for positions. We have women in the Senate, we have women in the House of Reps. We just need more of them. I think we already manage a very costly system. Creating more seats would kill the whole process. We would defeat the idea of managing money that we do not have as a country. Let's just advocate and press and engage for more women to be engaged in the process instead of creating seats solely for women. I think that's even unequal. So I do not think the bill should.
Thank you very much. That's the much we can take, and I'm glad we're able to touch on different topics. You can join the conversation on Twitter and Instagram. Follow The Weekend Show NG on Twitter and Instagram and share your thoughts. You can also watch episodes of this show on DSTV.com, your digital first TV. My name is Andy Madaki. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We look forward to hearing from you, and your contribution is what leads to the topics and conversations we have here. For now, coronavirus is still outside. Wear your mask, wash your hands, stay home if it isn't necessary to go out, and stay safe. But for now, have a blessed weekend. See you next week.